What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keeping It Keilan. Today we're going to be talking about the Snyder Cut, or as it is more formally known now, Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I last made a video about the Snyder Cut on the day that it was officially announced to be releasing. It was announced at that Man of Steel showing on Vero. By the way, in that last video, I kept saying Vero because I had heard some people pronouncing it like that, but now I've heard in the official ads that it is Vero, which is what I thought from the beginning, but oh well, Vero. So we got to see Zack Snyder announce the Snyder Cut. Internet exploded. It was amazing. The Snyder Cut movement rejoiced. I went on a long walk, listened to my Man of Steel and Batman v Superman soundtracks all day long, just celebrated. I mean, that was a good day. I will always remember May 20th. There have been some developments in the Snyder Cut situation since then, all of which I consider to be pretty darn good. And I would like to share my thoughts, opinions, and reactions to those, and just let you know what the news is, what's the new scoop on the Snyder Cut, because Zack Snyder's DC mythos is like one of my top tier interests, so got to talk about it. So to many people in the Snyder Cut fandom, this is old news by now, but Zack Snyder released a 20 to 30 second little teaser trailer for the Snyder Cut, which is the scene where Wonder Woman, or in this case Diana Prince, visits this historical site that has relics of Darkseid's invasion, when Darkseid invaded Earth many years ago. And that was when the first unity of mankind was created, right? So we see her approaching the mural of Darkseid, and she's holding the torch. It's beautifully shot. And then it snaps to Darkseid, like young Darkseid, Uxas, at the invasion. And that is a shot that was in the theatrical cut, but it was Steppenwolf standing there rather than Darkseid, which is crazy. I remember hearing a while back about that theory that they basically just swapped Darkseid out with Steppenwolf, and I'm like, no, there's no way they did that. But they did. And the coolest part of that trailer is that it's overlaid with Jesse Eisenberg at the end of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice saying his iconic lines about, the bell's been rung, he's heard us, he's hungry, he's coming, right? That God is dead. And that has been explained a little bit more, that when Superman died, when the Kryptonian savior was killed, he let out a scream that could actually be heard through the cosmos, which is epic. And that is how Darkseid knew that Earth was defenseless and he could come and he could reclaim Earth once again. So I'm very excited to see that scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So that, it didn't tease much that hadn't already been teased through his pictures, which is great. He says we've only seen the tip of the iceberg in those pictures, which, if that's true, is amazing, because it's a pretty big tip of the iceberg there. I'm glad that he's not teasing like anything especially revealing. I'm very, very glad, because so much already has been teased. I really don't want too much else spoiled before I watch the movie. So, carrying on, something else big that happened in the Snyder Cut world is JusticeCon. JusticeCon was an awesome 2-day virtual event on YouTube organized by some Zack Snyder DC fans. I attended the majority of the panels, and it was really, really well done. So we got to see Ray Porter, who voices Darkseid. We got to see Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg. We got to see Zack Snyder himself, Debbie Snyder, and a few other people involved in the Snyder Cut movement, which was really cool. The biggest development, of course, as you can assume, came from Zack Snyder's panel, where he got to reveal some stuff. So the biggest reveal was a brief clip of Superman in the black suit. Now, this clip was on the Blu-ray edition of Justice League as a deleted scene, and in that scene, he was wearing the red and blue suit. Now, Zack Snyder has since said that, yes, they did have Henry wear a red and blue suit during filming, but it was always his intention, if given the opportunity, to color correct it and make it black and silver like the traditional regeneration suit Superman wears after his resurrection in the comics. And in the JusticeCon panel, he said it pretty frankly, like, they wanted it to be funny. They wanted it to be more lighthearted. And so, to them, a dark black suit was not lighthearted enough, which still can't wrap my head around that, because it's completely contradictory to Zack Snyder's whole aesthetic and vision and storytelling style, but oh well, that's fine. So basically, he said that he made some alterations to the suit during the filming process that made it easier for them to change it to black and silver in post-production. So the clip itself, when we watch it, it's not like completely finalized. He said himself that the color correction still needs some work, but Also, the clip itself has like this kind of weird filter over it. I don't know if that's just because it was being screen shared and it was through Zoom and it had been put through some different applications. I don't know why, but basically it wasn't the final scene by any means, and it was only like 10 seconds long. I mean, it was very short. So once again, I'm glad not revealing too much, but we do get a glimpse at Superman in the black suit, which we all knew was coming. So that's really going to be cool. I'm so excited to see him in the black suit in action. It's going to be legendary. Of course, most people wish that he had the mullet and the beard. That would be awesome to see on Henry Cavill in the black suit, of course, but I mean, I'll take what I can get. This is pretty darn cool. Anyways, he also discussed DC Fandom, which is the upcoming virtual event. It's supposed to be full 24 hours long in August. It's called DC Fandom. It's going to have a bunch of panels for different DC films, different DC movies, etc. And I mean, like, and two of those movies, side note here, are called Secret Movie 1 and Secret Movie 2. So I'm really excited to see if they announce some new movies, and fingers crossed that one of them is Green Lantern Corps, because I've been waiting on that for a while, and it was supposed to release this year when it was originally slated, but that didn't happen. Green Lantern fan can hope, right? But anyways, there is a Zack Snyder's Justice League panel, and the panel is interestingly not called Zack Snyder's Justice League. The panel is just called Zack Snyder, which we'll get to in a minute. But he said there will be several new reveals at DC Fandom. So first reveal is going to be a new teaser. So I imagine that'll be actually like where we see a truly well put together mini trailer for the movie, and I'm very excited for that. He said that it's like, you know, something that we get a bigger meal at Fandom than we did in these past few teasers. So very excited for that. Of course, I'm hoping it teases just the right amount, because definitely don't want it to reveal everything, since there's so much about this movie that is already known. But again, there's so much of the movie that's unknown, so there's probably a lot of good stuff to tease. So I'm very excited for that. You know, this film is unique because so many scenes in this movie have already become like legendary, and we haven't even seen them. So watching the movie is going to be such a surreal experience, because typically with a movie you do want to go in with like, we don't know what's going to happen, anything could happen. But now that you kind of know the story, you know the framework of the story, you know like a lot of the scenes that are going to happen, and you've been wanting to see those scenes for so many years, like that'll be like just an entirely new level of hype. I mean, even if you don't care for Zack Snyder, even if you don't care for the Justice League, for DC Comics, like you got to admit that is a new level of excitement that people have that is like, that just hasn't existed in any other film, because people have literally been anticipating specific scenes for years. So it's going to be awesome. But as I was saying, at DC Fandom, we're also going to find out whether it will be a movie or whether it will be a series. And there's a few things that interest me about the proposition of a series. I think, personally, it would be coolest as a movie, because, I mean, like, that's how it was originally intended, and I feel like to make it into a series, it might change the vision a little bit. But then again, at the Justice Con, Zack Snyder said it would not be a compromise to his vision, and he actually thinks it might be cooler to do it as a series. So the format to me is not quite as important, because even if it is a series, as Zack Snyder himself has said, you can always just watch it in one sitting. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, either way it'll be awesome. Either way it'll be hours of awesome content. And the fact that it's a series might actually get it more viewership if like it is broken up into episodes. Because if it's a 4 or 5 hour movie, I would watch it. Everybody who's been waiting for this movie will watch it. And I think most like just general superhero fans, if they have heard about this and if they are even the least bit interested, will watch it, because it is the Justice League. I mean, it's Superman, Batman. Like, I mean, people are going to want to see that who are in the comic book community. So it will get a lot of viewership. There's no doubt about that. But to get more casual viewers, breaking it up into a series might make it more interesting. And that would allow the studio to have more funding, and, you know, it would show that there is more interest in the characters and in the series, which could lead to Justice League 2 and 3. Oh yeah. Because Zack Snyder originally wanted this to be a 5-film arc: Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League 2, and then presumably Justice League 3. So we can only hope. And that's something else that really interested me. At JusticeCon, there was some talk about the movie not actually being called Zack Snyder's Justice League, because that's what all the promotional material thus far has called it, Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I'm like, what else could they call it? Why would it not be called that? Maybe if it is turned into a miniseries, then they'll call it something different, right? But the fact that there's any speculation about that at all is interesting to me. And the fact that the panel is not called Zack Snyder's Justice League, but just called Zack Snyder, makes me think that there might be a different title. And if there is a different title, it could be called Justice League Part 1. And if it's called Justice League Part 1, that is super in line with Zack Snyder's original vision, because that is what it was originally supposed to be called. And it would also just be like an announcement, basically, that, hey, we're going to invest in the next, at least the next Justice League movie in his arc, which, I mean, in a perfect world, that's what us fans would get, and that's the direction that the DC universe would be going in. And even if like his vision is so crazy and so controversial to people that they have to just say, here, play in the sandbox in HBO Max, like, don't mess with the rest of the DC extended universe in the mainstream cinemas. If that's what they got to do, that's what they got to do. But as long as we get to see those movies in some sense, I'll be happy. And even if they, if they put them out as animated movies, if they put them out as graphic novels, I mean, that's more likely now than ever, now that the studio is invested in his vision again. But even if none of that happens, I mean, I'm just so grateful that we get his cut of Justice League. Now, one last thing before I head off. As a Green Lantern fan, I have been very curious as to Green Lantern's involvement in this movie. Is the Green Lantern Corps involved in the Darkseid battle more than just that one guy who showed up in the movie, Yalen Gur? Do we get to see Hal Jordan in any sense or capacity? Is Sam Benjamin, that guy who has kind of teased being Green Lantern on Instagram and stuff, is he actually Green Lantern? Is he actually Hal? And then there's also been rumors about Ryan Reynolds being Hal Jordan again in this movie, which I really don't think is true. It would be cool. I gotta say, Ryan is a great guy for the character, and I don't think that that people's dislike for the 2011 movie should sway him from resuming the role, but I just don't think that that's true, because I think that he's distanced himself from that character and that property, and I think that Zack Snyder, he's not one to build off of other people's stuff. He does his own thing. And so whoever he cast as Hal Jordan, if he cast anyone as Hal Jordan, which I think it's Sam Benjamin, I'm very excited, and I really think that we're going to get some cool glimpse of Green Lantern, which will be awesome, because Green Lantern is my favorite thing ever. Zack Snyder is my favorite, creator, my favorite director. So you combine those, and it's going to be a recipe for awesomeness. The Snyder Cut is a recipe for awesomeness. So that's about all I have to say. There is also the whole Joss Whedon situation, which I'll probably get into in a different video, but as far as Zack Snyder's Justice League goes, that is all the new developments, and that is all the thoughts I have. I'm just so unbelievably excited for this movie. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait for the world to see it. It's going to be awesome. So go ahead and subscribe to Keilan Morrissey. Check back soon. I'm uploading 3 to 5 new videos every week, including Keeping It Keilan, including short films, including adventure logs, all kinds of stuff. So check back for more. Thank you all for watching. Have an awesome day.